Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It's a cooler day today. Had a little pop-up shower yesterday afternoon. Some thunder and quite a bit of rain came through and cooled us off. And so we're a little cooler today, but I'm certainly not complaining. This feels more like the appropriate temperature for this time of the year. We've been a little on the high side on temperatures. If you missed the live stream last night, don't worry about trying to go back and find it. It is gone. I deleted it. It wasn't YouTube, it was me. We were talking about some things that I had a feeling was going to get me in trouble with the YouTubes. So I deleted it. I do that from time to time if I get in on a subject and based on, the comments in the chat and what people are asking and what we talk about, I think I was probably bordering on the no-no list. So it's gone. I apologize if you missed it, but hey, you should have watched the live stream. I mean, my goodness, it's what it's there for, to watch it when it's live. So a worker at a dairy farm has contracted H5N1. They believe it's possible. It's possible this is the first confirmed human or animal to human transfer of this H5N1, which has been the thing that everyone's been waiting for. It was in birds, all the chickens a couple of years ago. And they still are killing them. And then we've heard all sorts of reports of them being in cats and dolphins and foxes and kumquats and bananas and, whatever. And then, of course, the dairy farms, finding it in the milk. They've been finding it in pasteurized milk. Now, this is not a live virus, but they are finding dead viruses that are making it into the milk supply. And so the big question has been when are we going to see an animal to human transmission? And it appears, and I'm no virologist, I'm no anything else like that, but it does appear that it has made it into humans. The big question will be, will this just be a one-off thing, or is this going to start happening more often? And it's not a novel virus in the sense like the corona was, which now just hold up, hit the brakes. I know what you think of the coronavirus and everything, and I assure you that I think very similarly. I am speaking on the official record. The official record is that corona, was an unknown virus that just happened to come out of bats or anteaters or I don't know, some kind of critter, and just happened to make it into humans. And they didn't know about it until it made it into humans. Now, that's not what really happened, but we're going to go with the official story for the sake of the argument today, so just bear with me. And the thing is with this H5N1, it's been around for a long time. We've known it, science has known about it, everybody's known about it, and it has been one of those ones that for years has been warnings that if this thing makes it into humans, it's going to be a bad, bad deal. And apparently that's what's happened. We'll see if it's just, like I said, a one-time freak thing, or if it continues to spiral and to expand and to infect more people. But myself and many others have said recently that this one really looks like it's lining up to be another big one. Since the coronavirus, all of the experts, those scientists like Bill Gates and Klaus Schwab, the ones with all those science backgrounds, they've been warning that the next pandemic's coming and it's going to be way worse than the last one. And then now there's this, and scientists are saying that if this thing does make it into the human population, it will be substantially worse than coronavirus. So I guess the question is it going to happen? A lot of us, and I'm including myself in the us, have some strong suspicions that this thing will happen just in time to cause disruptions with the upcoming election. But, who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we're all wrong. Maybe it'll just fade away and we'll never hear anything about it again. But I doubt it. I doubt that. And, we've got to be ready for this one, because if it is, and again, please, I understand what it probably really is and what's really going on. But again, I'm speaking on official whatever. I mean, I'm sure it's all lab created and may not even be an actual virus. It's, a biological warfare kind of thing. But hey, before I go too far and get myself kicked off of YouTube yet again, it's possible that this one could be the one. I know I'm sounding vague because, well, no one really knows, but it's starting to line up to be that. And we have to be ready for that. If it is anything like they say it's going to be, and we're going to see a lot more actual real hurt from this one than we did the last one, we could certainly, what I suspect will happen, and this will play perfectly in their plan, that when it first starts getting spread around, the majority of the people won't react that well to it. I think that they'll just kind of ignore it for the most part. They're burnt out because of the coronavirus, and they saw all the hype and all the destruction, and ended up not being that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, people got sick and died, but nothing like what they were, spreading the fear of. And so I think at first people will just kind of ignore it and go about their daily lives for the most part. And then they'll come back a few weeks later and say, because of this, now it has spread even worse than before. If we had contained it from the very beginning, we would have been able to, keep this under containment and not been that big of a deal. But now, because people have ignored it, it has really spread bad, and people are just falling over in the streets, and the hospitals and the ERs are filled, and the morgues are filled, and all of this kind of stuff. And at that point, people will probably start panicking. I could be wrong in all this, but that's just my guess. So what I would suggest for you is, just as a precaution, is if we start to see that happen, in the very early moments of the news saying that, it's starting to spread around, you better start going into action. Between now and that point, you need to be stocking up. You need to be stocking up and getting things ready. But then when that happens, that's the moment that I would think you need to start kind of going into action, making sure things are topped off. Put your plan into action of what you're going to do to avoid going around people. Doesn't mean you have to start doing it at that moment, but start actively planning. Because if what I'm saying pans out, at least somewhat, you're going to have, between the point of it starting and the point that people start to really panic, you're going to have a few weeks, I would guess. This is just based on what we saw with the coronavirus, and based on what I see with just human behavior. And that's going to be the time period for us to take advantage of the moment and get ready. Because once it sets in with the American people that it is real, at that point, it's going to be crazy. At that point, there's, stores' shelves are going to empty out. People are going to just panic. Government will step in, and they will use all their newfound power that they still have from the last pandemic, and they will start cracking down on people. And then that's when we'll most likely start seeing the real true plan of the Great Reset. The 15-minute cities and the digital identifications and, all of this kind of stuff. That's when we'll start really seeing it, because they'll have to do that to save everyone. They'll have to do that to keep it from getting really bad. And, everyone stay home, send in your mail-in ballot, or maybe even they'll advance it far enough that you just can do it online, right? You can just, you need to download this app to vote. Of course, none of this may happen. Everything that I've said so far in this video may not ever happen whatsoever. But I think that the odds are ever increasing that it could happen. And even if this particular H5N1 bird flu isn't the thing, there's definitely going to be one coming down the pike. I mean, there's definitely another one coming at us. If it's this one, it'll be the next one. But this one's looking very, very much like a good candidate. And so we should really be preparing for this. They're hyping this up a lot. And with all of these protests and stuff going around, it'd be a perfect way to spread it around the country. All of these college students, you know, especially if they can get in on it soon, you know, then they go back home for the summer, and then they spread it around in their little small towns. And by this fall, it's just a full-on pandemic all over the country. I mean, you know, I'm no expert, but that sounds like a very possible scenario. So you need to just get ready for it. I mean, I know some of you are just sick and tired and burnt out because of the last one, because you know of all the truth. You understand what really happened. You know what the thing that they're putting in people's arms really is doing. You get it. I know that. I get it too. But that doesn't mean that this one's not going to cause people to panic, even if it's not a real deadly thing. Just like the last one, what really mattered is the reaction of the people and the reaction of the government. But either way, we need to be ready for it, because this one's starting to look like a pretty good candidate. Folks, it's time to get your houses in order, to prepare yourselves mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.